in business, you got two options: be dead or figure it out. What's up, guys? So I'm headed to Pete and Pedro warehouse real quick because there is kind of an emergency. Yesterday, we got a notification from Amazon that unless we had a double seal on our sea salt spray, which is our #1 best-selling product, we could potentially be kicked off of Amazon. And so obviously this is a big deal. I've talked before about, how Amazon is a fickle beast. The other downside to Amazon is that a lot of times you'll find out about something or there'll be an issue and you have no way of getting in touch with somebody or fixing the problem or solution. All right, this could be devastating for our business. One of the things you have to understand and expect when it comes to business, you are going to have issues or situations that arise that you got to figure out like quick, and the sooner you figure them out, the better off you're going to be. One of the beautiful things about Pete and Pedro and the fact that we are a small operation is that we're nimble. Being quick and nimble and able to solve problems or change directions quickly is an advantage to having a smaller company, because as you grow, as your company becomes larger, a lot of times it's more difficult or takes a lot longer. A lot of times there may be meetings that basically slow the process down. But because Pete and Pedro is a small company, we were quickly able to identify the problem, but then take action in terms of solving it. Let me explain. So normally when we get the sea salt spray, it looks like this, right? It's got a cap on it, it's got a bag. But for Amazon, you also need to place the Amazon label on it, right? And so because we realized that there was an issue and there were some packages that were actually opening in transit, because Amazon, when they throw things in a box, it basically just like jostles around, there were situations where the cap came off and it came open. And so you get a few of these, but we ship a huge volume. So we're like, all right, it's not that big of a deal, but this is what we can do to solve that problem. We can basically take the bag, wrap it around, and then put the sticker down, making sure that we actually can hold the cap on. But this wasn't apparently good enough. All right, so I'm gonna actually let Matt talk about what we found out yesterday.
Well, what we found out is when we went in to actually send out our next shipment of 4 pallets of salt, which is about just under 5,000 units, we went in there and there was a new warning that said salt must be double sealed, and that was a huge trigger. So I then went in, researched it more, found out exactly what they were wanting and not wanting, and that's where we are today.
Well, so we find this out and everybody's like, oh shit, because like we don't have a double seal. Now the good news is that we basically have like 2 months worth of inventory already at Amazon. And so they weren't saying that we were done yet, but it was preventing us from actually shipping more units. And so we basically have 2 months to figure it out. And so basically we knew a few things, all right? Number one, we have about 2 months worth of inventory at Amazon. So for the moment, we're okay. All right, we also knew that this could potentially be an issue. And so a few months ago, we actually reached out to our vendor and we're like, hey, can you like put a seal on the sea salt spray? And they're like, not in the current bottle that you have. And so let me actually just show you. So basically, so the current bottle for the sea salt spray looks like this, right? It's nice and clear. It's also flat on the bottom. They said they could not put a heat seal on this to basically seal it up. They would have to instead basically use one of these bottles, right? It's translucent, but it's a little bit foggy and it's not gonna look as good. It's not gonna look as sexy. The other downside to switching to a bottle like this is that we would have to change all of our renderings, which would be a huge undertaking. So I was a little bit reluctant, but I knew that, okay, if this does become a bigger issue, at least there's a solution, potentially. Yesterday, when we get the information from Matt that, hey, there's an issue, Amazon will not accept any more of our salt without a double seal, we were like, shit, what do we do, all right? And it was like go time, because as you know, sea salt spray is like our #1 best-selling product. And on Amazon, it's literally like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in sea salt spray that we're actually doing in business, which equals like millions of dollars a year. For us to be down for a day, for us to be down for a month, for us to be down would be unacceptable in my opinion. And so as a business, what do? How do you take action? First thing we did, we called our vendor. We said, yo, this is our situation. This is what's going on. We have a problem. How can we get the heat sealed? The other problem that we have is that we currently have 30,000 units in production. Got 30,000 units being manufactured, all right? If they basically fill that right now, they're gonna do it like this. We don't have a solution right now for putting a seal on this bottle. And so what would happen is they would either A, ship me all of these units, and I would basically have to go through 30,000 units from the PeteandPedro.com business, which would take a long time, or we got to do something else. I could A, eat the cost of the bottle because the bottles had already been printed, which was going to equate to like a few $1,000s. It could be upwards of like $5,000 that I would just basically lose switching to the new bottle and making these bottles obsolete. I don't want to eat the cost of the bottle, right? But if I had to, I would, because I don't want to have 30,000 units of salt sitting here with this bottle that I can't ship to Amazon, because then I'd have to put another Amazon order in with the new bottle. And so we said to him, all right, here's the deal. See what you can do in terms of the packaging and the seal. And they basically went to work and did a little bit more digging, a little bit more research, and they came back to us and they said, we think we've got good news. And we said, really? What's that? We think we found a heat seal that we could actually use with your current bottle. Boom! My mind almost exploded with excitement, because I'm like, if we can keep this and not have to basically retool everything and repackage and redesign and redo all that, that would be obviously ideal. But he said, but there's a problem. It's going to take us a few weeks, or add about 3 weeks of time in order to figure it out. We said, we don't care, because we've got enough time, we've got enough inventory. And that brings me to another point. You've got to make sure that when you're ordering, you have adequate quantities in order to endure situations that may arise. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to have excess inventory, like 7 months, 8 months, 10 months of inventory, because every pallet that you see on the shelf is basically dollar bills that are tied up. And so it's very important to have a good read on inventory. But because Amazon and the sea salt spray on Amazon is such a major part of Pete and Pedro, we always keep excess stock in inventory. We also basically pre-plan and pre-package and pre-prepare a bunch of salt in advance so that we're always ready to deploy it, because sales will spike. We also are spending extra money on Amazon because the ROI on sea salt spray in terms of Amazon has been so insane. I'm talking like a 3.5 to 1, which means if I spend $1,000, I'm going to make 3,500 back. So anyway, where we stand right now is everything is kind of on hold. We've got enough inventory. We can endure an additional 3 weeks to wait to see if the new wrapping will work, but signs are pointing to it looks like it will. I'd like you to meet Kelsey. Kelsey?
So how y'all doing?
All right, so how do you like Pete and Pedro so far?
I love it. It's been great, man.
Been here almost a month.
No, it's been a month.
Has it?
Yeah.
Has it?
Yeah, it's been a month.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does.
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this situation because I felt like it was appropriate. It's also just to tell you that you need to be prepared and you have to have some type of plan in place if something goes wrong, right? Because if we would have lost sea salt spray or they kicked us off altogether, that would have literally like crushed our business. And the thing that's so crazy is that like this year I'm all like, yeah, things are going well, and you get kind of like a little bit comfortable, but then boom, something happens, because with Amazon it always happens. You've got to be nimble, you've got to be able to adjust, and you've got to have a plan. You've got to be ready to take action, and then you need to figure it out, because if not, you're going to be dead. Gentlemen, in business, you got two options: be dead or figure it out.